CO2 Heat Pump Desiccant Dehumidifier CRIS. There are two methods of dehumidification: cooling dehumidification and adsorption dehumidification. Cooling dehumidification performs dehumidification by lowering the air temperature to produce condensation. With this method in low-temperature environments, moisture produced by condensation attaches to the cooling device and freezes to become frost. This makes it necessary to perform defrosting and consume energy. On the other hand, adsorption dehumidification, also known as the desiccant, uses an adsorbent to adsorb moisture. While this method does not require defrosting, conventionally two heat sources are required: a heater to regenerate the adsorbent and a chiller to cool the air, and this means that a large amount of power is consumed. CRIS, a dehumidifier developed by Mayekawa, employs the adsorption dehumidification method, but uses a CO2 heat pump as the heat source. This fulfills the roles of the heater and chiller with a single unit, thus achieving high efficiency to keep down running costs and produce an environmentally friendly performance. This dehumidifier proves its worth in spaces requiring dehumidification in environments where the temperature is 10 degrees Celsius or lower. Now, let me describe an example of actual introduction of CRIS and its mechanisms and features. CRIS was put to work in a shipping berth exposed to winds from the southwest, carrying high levels of humidity. During seasons when humidity is high, air from the outside that blows into the shipping berth with a southwestern exposure creates a hazardous situation by reducing the field of vision. As well as this, condensation is produced, forming puddles on the floor that present pedestrians with the risk of slipping or falling. Products were soaked by water droplets falling from the ceiling, leading to complaints or goods being returned, making it necessary to take extremely troublesome measures, such as setting up plastic sheets to prevent products from getting wet. To address these problems, CRIS, a unit capable of reliable dehumidification in a low-temperature environment of 0 degrees Celsius, was introduced. A more effective dehumidification function was realized by absorbing moisture by a duct on the berth side that was readily exposed to the outside air and supplying dehumidified air by a duct inside the warehouse. 24-hour operation during the period from June to September, when humidity is especially high, makes it possible to continue dehumidification, even at times when the warehouse is not in operation, not only in preventing condensation, but also realizing benefits in terms of building maintenance, thus creating a comfortable space. The environment changed dramatically with the introduction of CRIS. The problem of water dripping from the ceiling was solved, allowing staff to concentrate on their work in the warehouse. And the risk of ice forming in places such as the floor or the surface of pipes was eliminated. The number of complaints and returned goods decreased dramatically, and workers also expressed their appreciation that CRIS made it easier to perform their work. In addition, the dryness of the warehouse also reduces mold and rust, for example, keeping building maintenance costs down. In addition, CRIS offers benefits not only in warehouses, but also in a wide range of places linked to room temperature warehouses, such as the interior of vertical conveyors, conveyor lines, and roof space where temperatures vary. Now, let me describe the system with a CO2 heat pump desiccant dehumidifier used by CRIS. The system that uses the heat pump desiccant method with CO2 as the refrigerant for the regenerative heat source adsorbs moisture in the air into a honeycomb wheel, which it then dehumidifies to produce dry air. The adsorbed moisture is dried by heat from the heat pump. In addition, dehumidified dry air is cooled by the same heat pump and blown out into the warehouse to realize cold air dehumidification. Simultaneous drying and cooling enable continuous dehumidification and also realization of an energy-saving operation. Energy-saving Chris. Conventional desiccant dehumidifiers use electric heaters or steam as the regenerative heat source, and also require an air-cooled chiller to control increases in temperature after adsorption, resulting in extremely high levels of energy consumption and high costs for the customer. On the other hand, because it uses the heat pump method, Chris is able to perform cooling and heating using a single unit, enabling greater energy-saving operation in low-temperature environments. In other words, an environmentally friendly dehumidifier that reduces energy consumption by approximately 70%. That's Chris. Chris can be used in a wide range of fields. As well as the field of low-temperature logistics that we have looked at, Chris can be used in all kinds of places where dehumidification is required, such as food, meat, and seafood processing plants, and ice arenas. Chris uses a heat pump to realize dehumidification in low-temperature environments with lower levels of energy consumption than existing systems. Introducing Chris as a set with our industrial cooling and refrigeration systems Newton enables more efficient dehumidification. We sincerely hope you will consider introducing Chris and these systems at your facilities. CO2 Heat Pump Desiccant Dehumidifier, Chris.